It's a blessing to welcome on one of the top rising players now as a sophomore in college, putting up a big time numbers to kick off this season at Louisiana. Mylik Wilson, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. You?
Pretty good. Well, you're a guy now that's had quite a big time freshman season last year, but you've kicked off the sophomore year so far, 1-1. Last night you had a huge game. Take us through how you kind of started to settle into your sophomore year.
I'm really just building off last year. Like the chemistry this year really good for the team, so it really helps my play and the team play also. So I really feel like this is going to be a good year for us.
I want to go a little bit into your story because you are a big time player and we saw last year, but you were a 4-star, 3-star kind of type of player. You had a lot of offers on the table originally. Take us through that recruiting process and really what led you to choose Louisiana.
Well, I chose Louisiana because I feel like it was close to home and it was in state. So and I feel like I could contribute to that team right away like I did last year. So I feel like me going here, like it really helped me go to the next level. Like,
And you really built up this hometown name for yourself. You've won 2 Player of the Years out there, 2 back-to-back state championships. You really built up this hometown presence. So to be able to stay at home, hometown college, what was it like kind of being embraced now by the hometown?
I mean, they always looking after me. I'm yeah, a Ravel kid. Ravel gonna always stand up for their people, and this is what I like about my hometown. No matter where I'm at, what I'm doing, they always watching, and they always gonna they always gonna represent me, and I'm gonna represent them.
Now, when you commit, you became the highest commit in program history. And since then, now Ty Harper just commit recently. He's now past even you. And this is a common thing now. Coach Marlin's building something special out here. People are seeing what he's done with you. Ty Harper wants to follow suit in that. How special is Coach Marlin, and why is it such an attractive appeal now to guys?
I just feel like um, he just really get a hold of those guys like he did with me, and he attract those guys. And I guess those guys just want to be here and just want to win, and that's what we got to do.
We know the results of last season, but heading into last year now, a freshman in college is not always easy for guys. But you come out, win freshman of the year in Sunbelt, 11.5 points a game, 5.7 rebounds, nearly 3 assists, one of the top freshmen in the country, average per game of steals. How were you able to put up those kind of numbers so early on?
Um, I just coach really just had me out there just like to play, and just coming off from high school, this is what I really do: just play, just run, just go, and I just like from high school, I just got a lot of steals, and they just carried to college, and I feel like my defense awareness is up, and it's going to continue to rise, and I feel like that's a big part of my game that can really help me go to the next level.
That's where I kind of want to key in on because we'll talk about offense in a minute, your athleticism and whatnot, but you bring this defensive presence to you wherever you step on the court. And I mentioned you were led the country in steals per game last year. Once again, already putting up a lot of steals this season. Take us to your defensive mindset. How have you learned to really lock in on that end of the court?
It really all starts from high school. Like that's what our coach always talked about is defense. That's how we really made our offense getting steals on defense. We really didn't have to use offense if we use defense, and just by getting steals and pushing the ball and getting easy points instead of just setting your offense up. And I feel like being a defensive guard, that's really big in the next level. You really got to guard to go to the next level, and I really take pride in it.
And we're going to talk about last year in a second a little bit more, but 2 matchups this year so far. Baylor, debatably maybe the best team in the country this past season. And now you're also looking at last night where you had another big time game, putting up 5 steals. When you're playing these top level guys, especially someone like on Baylor where you have 2 steals against them, how does your mindset change going to those type of games?
Yeah, you just got to be ready for any game. I know Baylor, like that was a top game.
Mhm.
Like I knew they was the top team in the country. Coach told us they was come out. I feel like they was the best. I feel like they are the best team in the country, defensively wise. And I just try to steal some of those what they be doing on defense, add it to my game, and I feel like it's going to help me during the season.
Now you came out of the gate in that game big time. You came out with the first 4 points. You almost had a steal to lay out to the game. When you start the game off hot like that, was that something that you were kind of just more excited for that, or what allowed you to kind of have that quick start?
I was just ready to play, and I know they were the top team in the country, so I knew they was gonna come out aggressive and ready to play. Cause I knew everybody was ready to play. Ain't nobody played since March, so everybody was ready to play. I just wanted to come out and just be aggressive, try to get easy points on steals, and just run the flow, try to get easy points.
And we'll get back into this season in a second, but last year you're putting up pretty solid numbers, but I know there's a point in time that coach talked to you and said, we need more scoring from you. And he kind of wanted you to take that up another notch because you're capable of it. You come out and put up a 30-point game, which included 21 second half and a comeback game. Take us through that and really talk about your coach's confidence in you and what allowed you to break out scoring wise.
Um, he just wanted me like to just play my game. They really had confidence in me. They just tell me like, don't worry about the other shot, just go to the next one. And yeah, I just go to the next shot. And I know me and Cedric Russell, the top two players on the team, so he gonna need me and him to score the ball a lot more this year to keep up with the big time players as they are now.
Now take us through that game a little bit more because you have 21 in the second half. The first half, 9 points. You guys are down by, I believe, 15. You come out and score 21 that second half, leads you guys to a comeback win. What went into that mindset? How did you flip the switch in the second half?
Um, in the first half, um, they was making shots and everything, but we just stayed calm with it. Like I felt the team like we weren't getting down on ourselves. We just stayed with each other in the locker room. We were just saying, we can come back. The game not over, and I felt that the whole game like, oh, we can come back. Then in the second half, we just kept fighting and fighting, and I kept fighting, and I was feeling my shot that night, and everything was going down. So I just stayed with it and led us to a win.
Another big game for you was against Georgia State. You hit the game winner. When you're setting up to go over into a game where you know that you're going to be the last shot of the game, potentially go to overtime to tie it or even win the game, how does your
Mhm.
mindset change for that kind of scenario?
I just wanted to win the game. The play really wasn't for me. It was for the four man, Jalen Johnson, because I was supposed to draw two and kick it back. But as I was driving, I had felt the lane and I went by him. So and I felt the lane wide open to the basket. So I felt like I can get there and just lay it in for an easy basket.
Now, you walked away from your freshman season, 21st freshman in NCAA history to have 11, 5, 2, and 2 stat line. When you know that you're putting a name up amongst the guys like James Harden, Ronnie Brewer, some other great college players, and even pro guys, what did that mean to you?
I mean a lot to me to be in a conversation with a guy like James Harden that I know this a good player and probably gonna be in the Hall of Fame once he get done his career. I'm just trying to make it to where he is now.
Also, you were named Sunbelt Freshman of the Season, and that's a big award for any freshman, obviously winning the Conference Play of the Year. How did you find out about that award, and what did it mean to you?
Um, I mean, it means a lot to be freshman of the year to get recognized as like a newcomer of the year of the team, like the person that really, yeah, like the newcomer of the year. So I just want trying to build off that and try to just like win big awards, maybe like player of the year or defensive player of the year that I set my mind to.
Where were you and how'd you find out that you won that award?
My coach told me that it was either between me or two other guys from the other team, but I feel like I was the best freshman in the league in a way. So when he told me, I really wasn't surprised because I feel like I was the best freshman in the league from playing all the other freshmen.
Now, there is this movement where we see this mid-major guys go into the NBA, and that is a big appeal. A lot of guys we're seeing have been able to not just accomplish it, but it's becoming a typical thing now. Every year we see these mid-major guys become top-level college players and get drafted and have successful NBA careers. What's led to this? Why are these mid-major guys like yourself now able to make it to the next level?
Because I feel like we gotta even try even harder because we mid major, we not really power five because we really gotta show the world what we can do and we really have a chip on our shoulder just to show the world that we can compete with those guys too.
Then March hit and the season came to a close because of COVID and the whole country's on lockdown. Take us through your mindset. How did this set up and approach when you know you have quite a few weeks now, months we find out of you pretty much staying at home, getting to a gym? How did your mindset shift to what you're able to work on?
I mean, it shift very differently. I just try to like work on some stuff I needed to work on. I spent a lot of time with my family back home, but I was still like training. Like I used to like go in the weight room where like Planet Fitness by myself and just train. I was working on my body, like drinking a lot of muscle milk, doing like push-ups at night, sit-ups, all that type of stuff. Whenever I can get in the gym, like my high school gym, I go in the gym by myself, work on little things, and try to perfect my game.
And you are a guy now that we're talking about as a player that has pro potential, rather it be after this upcoming season or in a couple years from now. When you're evaluating that and you know your ultimate goal is to be drafted someday and play in the NBA, how have you learned to focus in on still performing the college level while still worrying about making sure you're impressed and are able to do things according to what the NBA might want from you?
Oh yeah, I always really focusing on me. Like if I were like, I told myself if I want to be a pro, you got to act like a pro. Like to do pro things. Like what would pros do in this situation like that? Because like I know pros really live a different type of lifestyle. Like my coach on the team told me like this is easy. It's way easier than the NBA. So if you're in a weight room, you got to go even harder. If you're on the court working out, you got to go even harder because it's gonna be way harder at that level.
That is the ultimate goal for you. And when do you think that might be time for you? You think you'll be able to possibly reach that after this upcoming season? And a year from now, when will you know that you think you might be ready to possibly test the waters and then go to the NBA?
Um, I would um I would try to see like right after the season. I would know if I'm ready to test the waters. It depends on what we do at the team. Like if we make it to the March Madness, if we win our conference championship and make it a March Madness, and potentially probably win like a game or two in the NCAA tournament and to get some attention. I feel like if I feel like I'm ready to test the waters, then I would feel like I'm ready.
What do you think you need to add to your game or improve on for you to feel confident and know that you are ready for the NBA?
Um, it's really just coming more of a playmaker with like in the point guard situations, like seeing the defense and everything. When my coach tell me like, do you want to be a point guard or do you want to be a combo guard? I told him I want to be both. So it's
Mhm.
good to be both. Like when you can make plays and you can score at the same time, they can be really good for a person.
And we discussed you on the defensive end. We know what you bring on that aspect, but probably the thing that most common people know you for, and really probably one of the most enjoyable things for you, is using your athleticism. We know you're one of the higher flying guys in the country. What's it like being able to throw down the dunks that you do and use your athleticism in games?
I mean, man, I just thank God for having this athleticism. Like, it's crazy sometimes, like what I can do on the court, like jumping wise. Like, I be amazed myself sometimes when I watch film. I be like, dang, like I really be up in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was watching a dunk the day I had versus New Orleans, and I was just floating, and I was like, dang, that's crazy. I'm just thankful, like, to have this type of athleticism. And I know it's a lot of guys in the league that have athleticism, and I know that's what the league is about: athleticism and length,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, they love this type of stuff.
What dunk or move in your career so far would you say has amazed you the most?
Um, I mean, I did a 360 dunk in high school. I was really high on that dunk. And last year I had stole a ball versus Youngville State,
Mm-hmm.
and I was amazed by that too. And I just grabbed it and I just went up to dunk like I didn't even know I dunked it. I just I just went up and just dunked.
And there's a couple of the moves that we see because I think a lot of guys have become better and better at the dunks. But you've also now added on where you're able to go up for a dunk, you switch around, go reverse, and do the reverse layup kind of move. How have you
Mm.
learned to balance when the right time is to go up for a reverse, a layup, a dunk? How have you learned to kind of balance that in a game?
I just really just watching the defensive player. Like if he reacts to this side of the basket, I'm just gonna go right under him, just lay it up. It's just some like a Jordan move, like watching his athleticism because I like watching his highlights, see how he go up with the ball and go under them and do all this type of crazy stuff.
And has this kind of been something where you've gradually become more and more athletic, where you're just naturally athletic from the start? When did you really start getting this athleticism?
I think it's just natural. Like in high school, I started dunking my 8th grade summer, so it really just natural. I never really lift weights like legs. It just came natural, and all through high school, I just jumping high, and it just led to the day. But it went. I feel like it increased more once I added weights, and it can even increase more by keep stretching more and working on my legs more.
Have you been able to measure recently? What is your vertical right now?
I really don't know. We haven't measured it yet, but I feel like it's very high because I'm touching the top of the backboard.
Now, the common thing for some guys that have this freakish kind of athleticism is a lot of guys tend to really only incorporate that into their game. We do see that you do have a three, you do have a pull-up game. How have you learned not to just completely focus in on using athleticism in the game and balance it with the jump shot, both mid-range and from three?
I feel like, having athleticism really can help, like with your jump shot, pull ups, everything. Like, I feel like if you on a drive and you got somebody on you, you can just rise up on them or fade because the athleticism takes over and you hide in the other guys. So all you gotta do is just rise up and concentrate on your shots, and you'll be good.
Absolutely. Well, let's kind of get into a little bit more about this year. 2 games are down. You're just sitting at 500, and so far your numbers are better than last year. It's just a couple games in, though. But what do you look forward to the rest of the season? Where do you think your numbers can get to for the average for the upcoming season?
Um, I know I would just go 1-on-1. I gotta stay on that pace. I feel like I score 15 points or more every night. I'll try to do that, and I feel like I gotta get my players more involved. I gotta average more assists. I know I'm gonna get steals. I gotta go rebound the ball more and to help my team. But I feel like it's gonna be a good year.
And we know the big thing about college basketball that everyone talks about is the COVID stuff. And so far, you guys haven't been affected by it, but odds are it could potentially hit at some point. How are you guys balancing this? How do you guys kind of maintain this and look at this as kind of avoiding it? But how do you guys also deal with it if it does happen to come in at some point throughout the next couple months?
Um, well, we just try to stay smart. Like what we do, we know we in the season now. We try not to make like crazy mistakes. Like don't go out. If you do go out, wear your mask, and they're really big on wearing your mask. So if we just keep our mask on and stay smart, I feel like we won't have a problem this year.
Absolutely. No, we mentioned your dunks, and we know every time a dunk goes down, the crowd loves it, the crowd embraces it. But this year, if there is a crowd, it'll be very minimal. How have you guys as a team learned to play now environments that are either have no fans in there or a very small amount?
Um, um, we getting I told some of the players the other day that I'm getting used to not playing with a crowd. So,
Mhm.
but like the team energy on the bench, you can really feel it in the game. So I feel like if you have your teammates on the bench and I feel like there's a little energy, so there's all really the energy you need, and you can bring energy yourself. So I feel like, yeah, it's not really a big deal to me. I just want to play ball.
Mhm. Another aspect some people look at is you can most likely be able to hear the coaches a lot better, both your coach, also the other coaches. Have you learned that being able to
Hmm.
hear the offensive sets or defensive sets against you? Have you been able to notice that yet? Do you hear the other coaches? Kind of take us through that.
Now I really haven't been. I heard some of the coaches, but I really been listening, locking in on my coaches. But I can really hear the other players calling. But I can hear my players talking to me too on the sideline. So there's really, it really can help. It's really a big help.
For you personally, does it feel actually like a real game like it would have last year? Or does this feel almost more like a organized pickup game?
Um, last night, in New Orleans, they really had like a decent crowd, like enough to make enough noise because they made a little run. And they were hitting threes. The crowd going to get into the game too. So I felt a little something when you hear the crowd, the other people crowd, and I was like, it felt like some similar to last year. So I feel like with the social distancing stuff can help a little too with people come to the game. So I think we're gonna have some people come to our game, so that'll be nice.
Absolutely. Well, a few more things before I let you go. One of which I like talking about is building a legacy for yourself. And I think that's something that all guys want to do. So when you are done playing basketball someday, what do you ultimately want to be remembered for? What do you want your legacy to be for what you achieve both on and off the court?
I just want to be remembered as a player that loves to win. I love to win. I don't like losing. Even when we in practice, when we lose, I get mad and stuff. But I just try to win the next game, and I just want to be known as a winner, a person that loves to win. Even though every time I get on the court, I want to win. No matter who we play, I just want to win.
I know you're also a believer. Take us through your faith. I know you have John 3:16 in your bio on both Twitter and Instagram. Take us through your faith and how God's kind of helped get you to the point you're at today.
I just when you feel like you believe in God, and He believes in you, and whatever you believe in, you can just do it, and but God got your back, and whatever you do, just keep doing it, and God will be right there with you on the way. So just believe in God, and He believes in you.
And being a believer, obviously, we know that John 3:16 is one of the more iconic Bible verses out there. Why does that kind of stand out to you, and what does John 3:16 mean to you?
Um, it means everything because because it just it just he just God just He's just not one man. He believes in every man. So it's just not always about you. It's about everybody else. So just don't focus on yourself. Just it always. just believe in yourself, and God will be right there.
Absolutely, man. My final thing for you, give Louisiana fans as well as just everyone that watches basketball your 3 biggest goals you have set for yourself this upcoming season.
Um, Winning player of the year, for the Sunbelt will be big. Defensive player of the year, and and especially making it to the winning the conference first, but making it to the March Madness will be big for the school too.
Absolutely, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking the come on today, and I can't wait to see what God's got next for you. Of
Thank you.
course, you're always welcome on, man. God bless.
All right. God bless you too.